Hey everyone, we're Tom and Bunny. We are TowawayCouple. I'm Tom, the driver.
And I'm Bunny, the, I don't know what I am this time.
Well, you're still the sandwich maker regardless.
I am. I'll always be the sandwich maker.
And the coffee tester.
And the coffee.
And now the backhaul driver. You got multiple roles. You should be proud of yourself.
And I do. I wear multiple hats.
Yes, you do. Like that camel toe hat. So today we're going to talk about the bond, the $1,500 deposit that you're required to put up. And it's not just by Horizon. It is by pretty much every company out there that we've seen.
Correct. Now, different companies have different rates, but they're all right around $1,500.
Yes. And some companies, you could pay it up front, or you can pay in installments. And what they do is they take a percentage of what they owe you out of your dispatches, each one, and they apply it towards the bond.
Correct. Now, we opted to go with having them Horizon takes 10% out.
Yeah.
So we opted for them to take the 10%.
Well, we had no choice.
Well,
I guess we could have paid it.
I could have paid up front, but yeah.
Yeah, but why? So here's the thing, that this is where, some people were just outrighting checks for $1,500. And I asked them, I said, okay, so if they take 10% of your load and there's no interest, why write a $1,500 check? And they said, well, because we just want it done. And I'd rather see a bigger check each load. And I agree with that.
I agree, because I'm at the point now I keep looking every time
to see when we're going to be done with that $1,500. So pros and cons of paying up front are doing it in installments. Irregardless, it comes out of your bank account.
Right.
Whether it's all up front in one lump sum or over, if you average $1,000 load over 15 loads.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you do the math that way.
Well, our second run was a biggie.
Yeah,
that was a good chunk out of it.
Yeah, the second one was $200 or $2,700 or almost $2,800, and it was 3-day run to California. And I thought, oh my God, well, you forget about 10%. So when they took out almost $280 right off the top, you think, oh my God, now you still have that money.
You do. It is your money.
It's your
money. Unless
money.
Something happens.
Right. And
that
God
you damage.
forbid, hopefully nothing ever happens to anyone. But it does happen. That's obviously why they have it. Mm-hmm. So the importance of it is to make sure that most repairs, they say, are about $200 to $400 roughly. I've heard of some being $4,000. And if you do require repair, then it affects your safety miles, your bonuses, any programs that they're doing.
Right. And when it affects your safety miles, then if you're lucky enough to be able to self-dispatch, then that gets taken away for a while.
I heard it gets taken away for 30 days. But you got to get back to the 20. I heard they take away... I got to look at it. Someone posted that they take away all your mileage, or 25,000 miles. Mm-hmm. So if you have 100,000 miles and they take away 25,000, you're still able to self-dispatch. So they take away the self-dispatching for 30 days.
Right. It's kind of like its own rewards program. like you would put a kid in timeout.
Yes.
You get put in timeout because unfortunately you did some damage.
Exactly. So the question, everyone is required to do it pretty much in every company we talk to. Some companies take 7% out per load, and that was their way of trying to entice us to come over there. And Horizon is 10%, so 7%, 10%. Tomato, apple, oranges.
Right, but at 10%, you're getting it. It's coming out faster.
It's coming out faster. So if you're doing a $1,000 haul, it's going to come out in 15 increments.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whereas 7%, it'd take you 20 hauls.
Right. And I think we're at...
That just prolongs the agony.
We're at 8.
Well, no, we've done 6. and we're getting ready to do our 7th from Indiana to South Carolina.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, every time we do a $700 run or an $800 run, they take out $70 or $80. It's taking a while, so it'll probably be 20.
Yeah, because we're kind of like, we like those 1-day runs.
We like the 1-day run because if we're going to do 600 miles and be done and get paid that day and heading back, and we could pick up another trailer and deliver that the very next day, we are good with that. The problem is if you do a 800-mile run, that takes 2 days. It really screws with your timing.
Right. Like our South Carolina run coming up is going to definitely be longer than a day.
And so we're going to have to...
We're already working on our timing.
Yeah, because Bunny cannot drive a trailer. She can only bobtail me back. So when we stop after 11 hours, and we're going to try to get as close as possible, we have to stop for 10 hours. So we have to figure out our timing, because if we say stop at 8 in the morning, well, it's going to be way after they close. We might be another day before we drop off, because I can't even drive the trailer in there.
Right.
Per the logbooks. So with that said, we're trying to figure out when we have to leave the yard to stop to get in there about 9 in the morning, so that way we get back on our schedule as quickly as possible.
Right. Now, in the beginning, we decided you know what, especially with the 1500, these long runs are going to be great, and you make good money at them. But with both of us doing it now, the 1-day runs are going to work out great for us.
Be more profitable.
Now, granted, we're not going to be able to get those all the time. But as much as we can, we're gonna use them, and once that $1,500 is paid off, then we're gonna be making that much more.
Yes, we'll be making 10% more, and again, like I say, we're doing 600-mile runs. They average about $720 to $850.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, once that gets paid off. Again, the South Carolina, that eats into it, because now we lose a day of making money to pay towards that. So doing shorter runs in the beginning might be better suited to get your money paid up as quickly as possible.
Right. Now, and the reason why we bring this up is because a lot of people thought in the beginning the $1,500, you had to pay that up front. And they
it
were
scares
like,
a lot of people.
I can't afford that in the beginning. Well, it gives you the option of paying it off.
Right. Yeah, we could go in there at any time and just pay the balance off, and then we're making 100% of the money. But again, if we pay the balance off right now, it's still coming out of our bank account,
Yeah.
Whether it's right now or over a
Right.
time period. It's interest free.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, would we like to make 100%? Yes, we would like to make 100%. Does it bother us? Yes, it bothers us. But does it matter? No, because we know we got to pay the $1,500 irregardless. So we just opt to do the 10% and call it a day. And we are going to be happy with it because it's still our money. If we decide to leave Horizon, they write us, well, I don't know if they write us a check for $1,500 or put it on our card.
Right. Either way, it comes back to us.
It comes back to us. And they pay really fast.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to wait too long to get paid.
You don't have to wait for that toll booth.
The toll booth.
The never-ending toll booth that takes forever to pay.
We're going to be doing a video on that. So anyway, yeah, decide if you can pay the $1,500, then you're going to feel like you're making more money right away. If you want to do the 10%, just understand that you will be making 10% less for each run until you hit the $1,500, but then you'll be making full amount, so it almost feel like you're getting a raise.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, there's positives, a way of looking at both of it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
mm-hmm.
But
like you said, anything can happen. You just never know. Somebody could turn into you. You could hit a rock. Anything.
Well, we're going and we're getting new mud flaps installed because we have the wide mud flap, but behind our tires, the mud flap is kind of tall, and the wide mud flap doesn't cover the width of the truck. So we're going to actually have custom mud flaps made that are a lot lower.
Right. A lot of people do. In we could literally run with what we have, but you know what? We would rather take the investment and put it into our own vehicle instead of having to pay to get an RV fixed.
Right, because if my tire throws a rock up and it hits the front of that RV and dents it or scratches it or something, that's going to be at least a $200 to $300 fix. And they're not going to really do nothing about it.
And
they're just going to pocket that money. The RV is going to go on the lot. And if a customer says something, they'll go, we'll get that fixed for you. If customer doesn't say anything and that RV pulls out of that street, taillight warranty says, you kicked the rock up.
Right. And you know what? And it's always it was a reminder too, when we went down to Reno, when we had a Reno one, we came back through a construction zone in the West Coast, what they do the chip seal, which is basically where they put the tar down and then put the rocks on top of it. So that's all we were hearing was
in our fender wells.
In our fender wells. And I'm thinking, thank God we did not have that RV behind us.
Right. It would have been tore up. So yeah, when you're talking about that $1,500 bond, some people go, well, it looks like crap. We've seen people with really hokey setups with mud flaps. You know what? They're take risk versus reward. You want to look cool? Fine. We've seen people carabiner their mud flaps on. Our company has, it was another company had a sign up at the mud flap place. No chains, no where you can unhook the mud flap. It had to be a permanent mud flap. We've seen people where they only have a mud flap behind the wheels, but nothing under the center. So if they drive and something gets kicked up underneath the center of the truck, that mud flap keeps it from hitting the trailer.
Yep. And like you said, anything can happen. You can go into a parking lot and there's that tree branch.
Yep.
I mean, we've done that on our own vehicles, and we've known every RV owner that has done that.
Yep, they hit a tree branch and it tears their roof, and then you gotta fix the roof,
the awning, or anything.
Yep.
Anything. So anything can happen. So that's what the bond is there for, and it's to protect the company and it's to protect yourself.
Exactly. So, and you don't want to spend it. So make sure your truck is fully capable of protecting that trailer. Make sure that you drive slow speeds. And that's less damage to the trailers. But more importantly, make sure you do a good pickup and drop off inspection. And they say 4 or 8 pictures minimum. I'm taking 30 to 40 to 50 pictures when I pick up and when I drop off. So there's no he said, she said. There's no claims against me without proof on our image. And then when I take all the pictures, we go back where we find the damage on the trailer, and Bunny stands next to it and points to the damage. I take a wide peripheral, and then I take a very up close, so that way they can get an idea of how big the damage is.
Right.
Because you got to mark if it's a scuff, scratch, dent, ding, all that stuff.
And out there, when you're transporting, you're going to meet other transporters. You're going to talk to them. Take their advice. If they say, hey, this fell off, then you better, make sure that you're going to double check that also.
Exactly. So I was reading in the Facebook forum for Horizon drivers where somebody's refrigerator vent flew off, and now they're worried they're going to be, that they got a claim against them. And another guy who drives for Horizon said his flew off. He was able to pick it up, tape it back on. He called his dispatcher, and his dispatcher told him, you are not responsible for anything that falls off the trailer, or a blown tire or ruining fender wells because of a blown tire. That's out of your control. But you are responsible for rock chips and dents, and if you swing wide and you hit the back of the trailer, there's all kinds of things you can be responsible for.
Right. And, I crack up because being RV owners ourselves, one of the funny things is if you're not an RV owner and you're just getting into this, go back and watch Robin Williams' movie RV.
It's the truth.
It's the truth, and you're going to encounter these stupid little things along the road.
We had a motorhome that didn't have an emergency brake, and I'd have to chalk the wheels, and I finally got it fixed, but no one knew how to fix it.
Right.
One guy finally fixed it for me. But no, we recently just dropped off an RV, and it was at Camping World, and he inspected it. He did now they inspect the inside and the outside. They make you sit there and wait when we're only responsible for what's on the outside. Well, he goes to extend the awning, and the awning didn't extend. He tried retracting it, wouldn't go either way. And it was probably a fuse, or the switch probably wasn't connected all the way. It was probably something very stupid. And he made a point to tell me that. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, well, it doesn't look like it's driver damage, but the way he said it made me concerned. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, I need you to write that on the piece of paper. And he was very hesitant about writing no driver damage. But I told him, no, obviously you see there's no dents, scratches, or anything I would have hit. I didn't install it, so right. I need you to write that. So he wrote it. But because he mentioned that, I took 20 additional pictures of just the awning. Every square inch of that awning, every different angle, and I wanted to make sure that if they make a claim against me, they better be able to provide proof I did anything.
Correct.
Because I provided proof that it was intact when I left it.
Yep. And we go through everything with the fine-tooth comb. So
yes, we actually double and triple check everything.
We do.
We check all the doors. We make sure they're all locked.
We probably go above and beyond. Our pickup is a little longer than everybody else's, but you know what? We want to protect ourselves.
You're off duty anyway. Oh, you're on duty, but you have 14 hours. You got 11 hours to drive in. But we've seen people go in there while we're doing our PTI. Pre-trip inspection, and they come in, they hook on, they're pulling out. When they're waiting for the gate to open, they run around, take 4 or 6 or 8 pictures, get in their car, and they're gone. And you know what? I don't wish it on anyone, but we want to make sure we don't have a claim against us, but they might consider that the cost of doing business.
But you know what? For us, the way that we feel about it is that extra 15 or 30 minutes that we're going above and beyond is well worth a $500 claim.
And
or
it shows
anything
that
else.
We care about the product that we're carrying.
Because you know what? Somebody is going to own that RV pretty soon, and they're going to be these proud owners. So you know what? Deliver a great product to them.
Yes. And I mean, you'll never meet them,
Nope.
but you know what? You are part of their happiness.
Mm-hmm.
So with that said, definitely the bond. We chose to do the 10%. We watch people write checks for $1,500. However you feel, if you need all the money, then obviously you might not be able to write a $1,500 check.
No.
But it does scare people when they're looking at hauling RVs for a living. Yes, everyone has to do it, but it's not that big of a deal. 10% is a small price to pay.
Right. And like you said, we're just chipping away at it.
Yeah. Interest free.
Yep. We're over the halfway there.
Over halfway on our 6th load.
Yep.
So
we're doing good.
Yep. All right. So until next time, we will see you down the road.
We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.